What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Yeah. Dimes are the ones who choose the men they want. And I'm going to tell you what, I was actually inspired to do this particular video. I was inspired to do this particular video by watching something that Master Teacher BGS did last night on his channel. It was the Black Pill Daily, episode 144, Baddies versus Dymes. And he had Cousin T-Tall on, because Cousin T-Tall did a video a few months ago called Dymes versus Baddies. And I was just listening. I didn't see the live show. I was just listening. He said something. I had to laugh. And, you know, I can reach out to Master Teacher BGS privately. And I said, because he had said, you know, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they got to choose the men. And I laughed because I had noticed that too. I had noticed that too, right? And I was just like, man, that was interesting, because I hit him back and he said, we always text back and forth every few days. And he said, he said it best. He said the man is, anybody else is used for food. Because, see, here's the thing, though. One of the things that Cousin T-Tall did, and I have it in the description box, the link to it. I advise people listen to the whole thing. Because a lot of times, first there's a difference between a dime and a baddie. I say the biggest difference is the dime is pretty much rolled out of bed beautiful. She's authentic. The baddie had to fix herself up, so she's more artificial. So when you see these women getting BBLs and getting the weaves, getting the eyelashes, wearing that makeup, yeah, they fixing themselves up. But they got a rougher edge to them, because a lot of them might have come from like lower class environments and everything. A lot of them might have came from those environments. But here's the thing. It's interesting what they said, because they said those dimes, shoot, they've been seeing Mercedes coming to pick them up since they were in high school. Understand something. Because people will see a dime and think she got this large body count and all that. Probably not. One, they're rare. Two, they've had guys hit on them since they were teenagers. Guys were trying to get at them since they were teenagers. When you have a woman in that position, a lot of times what happens is they will be, what's the best way to look at it? They will look at it like, hey, they, sorry, lost my train of thought. Like, they don't, you can't use regular game on them. They got so many guys hitting on them. That's the main thing that you got to understand with those type of women. They got too many guys hitting on them, so it's like they ain't going to be like the type of women who, a guy can spit that game at. It's not regular. Like, when you talk about 8 to 10s, and yeah, I'm a little sweaty. When you talk about 8 to 10s, attractive women, those upper level attractive women, if you even see them, yeah, you could probably spit some, think you hitting them with a line or even money. But they've been receiving that since, like I said, high school. It don't work with them the same way. But yet they'll still want a man. Now I'm hit y'all with a powerful secret. In my book, Nice Guys and Players, that whole select, non-select paradigm is really focused on what the very attractive women will do. Because my feeling is, if you can get the very attractive women, you can get the women at a lower level easily. And some dudes do that. But you do got a lot of times when because you get some dudes that say, well, I spit my game, I did this, I grew on them or something. Yeah, you can win those women over who are 1 to 7. But when you're talking about dimes, they pretty much just gotta want you. They gotta want you. They ain't some ordinary broads who You know, you might have some, you can get to them, you spit that good game or something. And it really just comes down to, they've been seeing guys come at them since they were young, so they basically go for the men they want. They have to choose you. Like, first of all, you ain't gonna see a dime if you're talking maybe an 8, but if you're talking 9s and 10s, unless you in a profession where you see them, you ain't gonna see them a lot. You might go months and even years without seeing them on a normal basis. A lot of times what guys are calling like 9s and 10s, man, they ain't really that high. They ain't really that high on the spectrum and everything, you know? They dealing with some woman who fixed herself up. And, you know, if that's a personal guy's thing, that's something. But when we talk about dimes, and Cousin T-Talk kind of broke this down, and BGS talked about it, remember, BGS had been a photographer. Photographers, man, depending on where they at, you know, if they in the right place, shoot, they seeing dimes all the time. They seeing dimes all the time, or, you know, they taking pictures and everything. You know, they can, like Master Teacher BGS was talking about how you can look at a woman's posture and everything, how she sit, and tell where she from. That ain't no joke. And then Cousin T-Talk used to be a male exotic dancer, and he trains male exotic dancers. And, you know, deal with very attractive women. So, you know, I go with this system, what he's saying. What both of them was saying, though, you know, those are usually the consensusly attractive women. They can compete in Miss Universe. According to Cousin T-Talk, they ain't even highest level. I ain't even gonna talk about that. But, you know, they had a high, they really doing something. So, you know, you can really, like, hook up with them or something like that. Well, you can't hook up with them, rather. You can't hook up with them. Like, lower women, like 7 and lower. In fact, I used to see women in, like, basically in that 5'6" range. I might be out and, you know, they might have a nice body, but their face is average. They are receptive to game. When you get, like, I say anything from 4 to 6 range, are very receptive to game. Maybe to 7, depending on where she at. But 8 to 10, they done seen it all. And they pretty much they gotta just want you. They either want you or they don't. That's the thing. That's the thing with them. They either want you or they don't. You know? And that's the very important thing. That's the very important piece. So you got to understand that. And that's, you know, that's the, you know, that's that type of woman and everything. But see, you know, plenty of guys out here want that. They want, well, I want a dime or something. Look, first of all, okay, if I want y'all to think about it. If you get a woman who get nothing but attention, she's looking at men differently. You gotta hit her differently. You gotta hit her differently, and no matter what, she gotta choose you. You gotta hit them up here. You gotta hit them in their brain, and even then, they still might not want you. They're gonna pick whoever they're gonna pick. Like, they will come to a guy. They will come to a guy if he has certain things going on. And usually, you know, depending on what he do, his stature, whatever. When I say stature, not being tall, but maybe status. That might be a better word. In fact, I'll talk about star chasers tomorrow. Like, if you're a star or something, or a celebrity, you know, they want the top men. If you just some regular old dude, I'm gonna be real with you. You need to go get a regular woman. No ifs, ands, and buts. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. You got to get you a regular woman, and that's the thing. So that's the thing. So that's what you got to really look at. That's what you got to really deal with. You know, and like I said, they talk about it in the video, and like I said, I advise anybody who's serious to watch it. Now, if you just want, you ain't tripping, you ain't trying to get a dime for whatever reason, and you just saying, you know what, I'm just trying to deal with women more on my level, and I do mean like that 4 to 7 range. Indeed, sometimes, well, hold up, sometimes those 7s, depending on where they at, if they in the right environment, they could be the top woman. they can be the top woman. But I'm gonna tell you something now. One thing, because I was at the gym and saw this young lady who I know got a lot of attention, right? And I saw this other woman, and she was showing that ass. They give a look. Women are very competitive with each other, so they'll know. They'll know. But when you're talking about those top women, they don't, I mean, you can't hit them with the regular game and think you want to seduce them or something. You know, not a regular dude anyway. Now, if you some high level, you used to dealing with them and everything, boom. Now, somebody would say, well, Rom, if you don't, well, yeah. When I was in school, I didn't have a game, so I couldn't get them. But, you know, when I was in school, both at the undergrad and graduate level, I used to work for a modeling company. And they'll see, some people say, no, I ain't you. Don't be stupid. I'm 59 now. I'm talking about when I was in my 20s and everything. I'm talking about when I was in my 20s. So, you know, that's the thing. That's the thing. They got to choose you. It ain't going to be a situation they choosing, you think you can run something on them. Like all that stuff, I'm going to be real, man. I hate to be this way, but I have to be honest. A lot of what passes as game right online wouldn't work with the Dymes. Like I said, the simple reason, even that they choose, but they done seen everything. You ain't gonna hit them with something new. They done seen everything. Now, you gotta kind of like just be in the same environment and kind of let them just, you gotta just really, only thing you can do, if you in the same environment, just be friendly to them, just be, hey, how you doing? Don't do anything crazy, but let's be real. Let's be real on something. A lot of guys, when they going for, they see that real attractive women, one they act stupid, or they hit her with something corny, or they indirect, and the woman sitting there like, well, damn, I saw this when I was 19. I saw this when I was 22. Shit, some of those women had to duck lecherous uncles and cousins and shit. So they done seen everything. The best thing you can do is, if you see one, like I said, don't be afraid to approach them and stuff and shoot your shot. Even there, she's still choosing right there on the spot. Don't be afraid to do that. So it's you wanna be that guy that can get them. You know, best thing you can do is fix up yourself. Best thing, you seriously hit the gym, fix yourself up, have something going on, have them come to you. They'll come to you, trust me. They'll come to you because you're doing something different from everybody else. Like there was a woman I've been checking out. She's been getting real popular, Sadia Khan. And she had talked about guys hitting her DM. Now, she married and stuff. She talked a couple times about it. Like guys hitting on her. Like, she real beautiful and everything. But she's married. But if she wasn't, a lot of guys still wouldn't get over because they hitting her with the same DMs, same lines. Oh, you're beautiful. First of all, here's another thing. With the Dymes, focus on their personality. Try to find out what's going on with them. They've been here and they've been beautiful since they were teenagers, since they hit it. And guys usually hit like they telling a woman something. Like if you tell her 4 she's beautiful, she might, you know, she might be like, oh. And you can look sincere. You had that type of game with a 4 or 5, some women like that. But you talking a 9 or 10, shit, you better have, you gotta have a little bit more with them. You know, they've been hearing it, so you gotta come with something different. Most dudes won't. And that's if the dudes even talk to them, or if they do talk to them, be sounding all nervous. We know dudes get excited over some beautiful women, and you know, that's normal, but you know, she gonna be like, oh, same guy. You gotta do something different in her eyes. And I've seen that. I've seen Dymes and like very attractive women. They chasing the guy more than the guy's chasing her, because he's sitting there. But it ain't gonna work with like lower women, because if you that attractive to get a dime, they gonna be kind of nervous, and then you gotta kind of talk to them, and even then they gonna be like, damn, does he want to use me for sex? You know, if you that attractive. And you know, like I say, some dudes will say, well, you check and get her. Yeah, maybe if she think he attractive. You don't know what's up with her. Because I've known some women high level like that, not even getting with them myself, but seeing who they go for. Like I knew this one, she was in my apartment building back in the day. Very attractive. If they had IG, she would have a great following, like a natural beauty. And she was actually going out for a minute with this guy who had money. Like this guy was living in the apartment, but he had so much money, he had a maid service to clean his shit, you know? And she was going out with him for a minute. But then she ended up getting with a guy on her job who, man, dude was, quite frankly, he was overweight. He was average looking. Now, this ain't saying, now, I'm sharing that example. Like, in general, if you average looking or you just average, you ain't getting them. But if you in an environment, if you're in an environment where she can get to know you, you might have a chance depending on the woman. Especially if she's a swan. Now, swan is that woman who didn't start off as attractive, but kind of grew into it. Now, if you can run into a swan, you doing some shit. If you can run into a swan, you doing some shit. But they're rare. They're rare too. Like a woman go from like just averaging, like as a teenager, grow into a swan, right? And she's not a baddie. She just grew into it. Some women are like that. I've met a few who are just like that. You know, a couple swans. They showed some pictures when they were young. It was like, this was you. Oh shit. But for the most part, they're gonna be attractive for a long time. You know, because I know a swan now, and she get with just ordinary guys. You know, they just ordinary. Seriously. But she was a swan when she was younger. She was just overweight. Had an eating issue, in fact. That overweight. That type of overweight. But that's the thing. That's the thing. So, you know, check out that video. Now, when we talk about the Dymes, like I say, they're rare. I mean, at best, most men, I'm just be real, most men, the best you can probably get is a 7. And even then, depending on the environment, people might call her a dime. If she in a, you know, small town or area where she stands out, and she gonna stand out a little bit because the 7 is still above average, you know? Like, a lot of guys gotta look at themselves and say, you know, could I really get this woman? Probably not. Let me just be real with you. You gotta have some shit on your own. That's why, hey, you need to have a good body. You need to let the barber bless you. If you want serious, just to get their attention, even then they might still be like, because I remember talking with this one woman, and she was name dropping some celebrities. She was name dropping, and like a prominent celebrity, I ain't gonna mention his name, but she just said, all she said was he couldn't fuck, and shit was little. I was like, oh damn. You know, but she was name dropping, and I could see how she carried herself. She would, she was 100 octane who kind of dropped down and, you know, got her regular job and shit. You know, but even then, and even her, I remember she told me straight up. She said, "Rom, I bet you can fuck." I was like, yeah. We never found out she was married. Her husband knew me, so I was like, I ain't getting into that. I said, y'all need to work that out. But she looked at me. But she made the choose. She chose. She chose. When you want to, hey, seriously, best you can do is just get yourself together and just, you know what, don't even think about her choosing. Don't even think about it. Just do you. Because trust me, she checking them out. See, those dimes, they still got functioning vaginas. But they only going to get with certain men. And like I said, it ain't always the man you think, but whatever the case, you can't win her over. Like, you get some guys thinking they can say or do something. You might could get away with that with a 5. Just be real. Yeah, you can get away with a 5 or 4 or 5 because a lot of guys ain't really trying to get at them. And that's how you getting at them. But you can probably get a 4 or 5, but you really can't get, when you get, like, go any higher than that, please. They pretty much either want you or you just move on. You know, all your game and stuff. Because even when you get some guys who talk about all the women they've been with, you know, when they talk about all the women that they've been with, right? They really, let me just be real with you. When they talk about all the women they've been with, they ain't been with a bunch of, ain't no way. Seriously, ain't no way. Unless they just unless they in a right position, like they working around a lot of models, or they photographers, or, you know, they in that shadow world. Other than that, most of the time, dudes ain't gonna do it. Like, any dudes watching it, some of you dimes have you actually met? Like, real dimes. Now, some woman you think is attractive. Because a dime going to get a bunch of guys on her. She a bunch of women looking. And one thing about that, and BGS threw this out there. She might be all that, but you still might not be able to get with her. You know, because can you mentally handle all those women, all those men trying to get at her? Because that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. But yeah, anyway, I need to stop over here for something. There's always something going on, you know what I mean? There's always something. Let me go in here real quick. So anyway, y'all, that's all I got for today. You gotta get that brother nod. Yeah. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.